Okay, 18, 19, and 20 are just like the quiz that we took. So it says polynomial A, polynomial B, and then 18 says add B plus A. 19 says A minus B, compute A times B. So I'm just going to take these and write them so I can do that. So polynomial B, and I'm going to add that to polynomial A. Okay, notice that this does not have an x squared term, so I have to make sure that I combine the right like terms. These are constants. There's no other x, right? There's like a blank right here. And then 3x squared. So we can just add down. Negative 3 and negative 4 make negative 7. 2x is all by itself. A 3 and a 6 make 9. X squared. There's our answer. 19 says A minus B. Once again, you can either do this through distribution, or you could have used the stacking method, but you have to make sure that you both line up your terms, and you have to make sure you distribute before you write it down. Do 6x squared plus 2x minus 3 minus 3x squared plus 4. Or both signs change. This becomes negative, this becomes positive. And we combine like terms. Once again, I like using the shape method because I now know that I have 3 shapes, so I should have 3 terms in my answer. 6 minus 3 is 3. This is the only x. And 4 minus 3 is 1. So that is the answer for subtraction. And finally, we've got A times B. So we can write that. This is the only time it doesn't matter that these are not lined up. So these are not like terms. But I'm not adding like terms, I'm multiplying. So negative 3 times negative 4 is positive 12. Negative times a positive is a negative. 4 times 2 is 8 with 1 x. Negative 24 with 2 x's. I put my plus 0, but watch this. I've got x squared here. So when I multiply these, I still get x squared. So what I'm going to do, since this like skipped the x term, is I'm going to go ahead and put a second 0. Okay. So now I get 3 times 3, or negative 3 times positive 3 is negative 9 x squared. Now, if I put it here, I could say, okay, these are not in the right place, but always check and make sure your x squareds are together. So 3 times 2 is 6 with 3 x's, 1, 2, 3. 3 times 6 is 18 with 4 x's, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 12, negative 8x. The only thing that's actually a like term, these are both negative, so they add. So negative 23x squared. I don't think there's the one that's quite this hard on the test, but this is just in case you do come across one that has a square like that. Number 21 says create an expression that represents how much you have in your bank account if you start with $50 and add $2 a day. So I start with 50 and I get $2 every day. So that's the whole thing. 22, if I go to the store and buy pears and my money is modeled by $20 minus 0.5x, how much do the pears cost? So I start with $20 based on that. And then I spend, because that's negative, 0.5 on each one. If I'm talking about dollars, half a dollar is 50 cents. So I spent 50 cents on each pair. 23 is like the beginning. We got to simplify this, so I'm going to see what goes into 68. That's going to be 2 times 34. That's 2 times 17. 17 is prime. So I get 3 times 2 times 2 times 17. 2 2s. 2 times 3 is 6. And that's my answer there. 24. Write a word problem for this expression. So you can come up with anything here. I'm just going to mention some things. Whatever it is, $20 is not changing, or 20 is not changing. So you could do elevation, you could do money, whatever it is, you start at 20. And then you get 5 for whatever you call x. So you're going to have to think of something for x. So the amount I spent was $20 plus 5 times the amount of shoes that I bought. Or 5 times the amount that you paid for something. So this was like the bowling one. I spent $5 to get shoes, and then I spent $4 an hour per lane. So this is something like that. Whatever word problem you want to come up with, it just has to be 2-3 sentences.